Habib. I'm a mechanical engineer expert in SolidWorks from Lebanon and living in Lebanon. I graduated from a French university in Lebanon in 2019. The goal of this channel is to offer free lessons on SolidWorks, especially to help Lebanese people in need who want to learn this powerful software. So let's start today by creating the second part two. Yesterday we created part one. This is the part one we created yesterday, a 3D model part for beginners. Today we will create the second part two. In order to create part two, it's not obligatory to close SolidWorks and open it again. We can directly create part two here. We click on the left click here on the arrow, then click on new, left click, then click on the part here, then click OK. So I obtained now a new sketch to draw the new part. Okay, so first of all, like we said yesterday, we should here adjust the dimensions because our dimensions now are all in millimeter. So I should change it from inch to millimeter. I should click here millimeter, left click. All right, perfect. And now I should click on left click on my front plane and right click on it again at normal tool to have my front plane in front of me. I can begin drawing on front or top or right plane. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. This is our second part that we will draw today. Like we see, this is a 3D part. All dimensions are in millimeter. We have height here 11 millimeter. We have here, like we said, it's radius 13. It means it's a fillet of radius 13 millimeter. These are holes of diameter 10 millimeter. This is also cut of diameter 38.10 millimeter. And here also we have fillet radius 6 millimeter, radius 6 millimeter. Here also we have a cut. Here also we have a hole diameter 5 millimeters. And all the fillets are radius 2. It means all the small fillets, for example, here and here are radius 2. Here also radius 2. Okay, so let's begin with it. Let's draw, first of all, this rectangle 107 and 48. I click here, right click, left click on sketch to create a 2D sketch, then click sketch again, left click, then click on the rectangle and center rectangle to first create the rectangle. And we should put the center of the rectangle on the center point here of the two axes and drag it. Okay, so now let's put the dimensions 107 by 48 millimeter. Smart dimension here, left click on smart dimensions to put dimensions. 107 millimeter, perfect, by 48 millimeter. So now, like you see, the color changed from blue to black. It means the sketch is fully defined. Like you see here, it's all in black because I've inserted all dimensions 107 by 48 millimeter and extrude 11 millimeter. Click here on feature, left click, then click on left click extrude, then click here 11 millimeter in order to do it in 3D. Then click also on the green arrow. So now I've obtained my rectangular 3D rectangle. Okay, I can rotate it by clicking on the wheel of the mouse and rotate it to see it as a 3D part. It's better to save it now. Left click on save and click here on part 2, save, replace. Okay, this is my part 2 here. Okay, so let's start to do the fillet here. The fillet, like you see here, are radius 13. So what to do here? In order to do fillet, this is fillet of 3D part. In order to do the fillet of 3D part, I should click on feature here, click also on fillet here also again, and I choose here the radius, like we said here in the drawing, is 30 millimeter. I choose here the radius 13 millimeter. Perfect. And here I should choose the fillet on the edge. On the edge here, it should be 13 millimeter. Edge line here and line here 13 millimeter. So I should choose the fillet type this. These other are for other applications. So items to fillet, I click here, left click on items to fillet in order to choose where to fillet. The edge, I should choose the edge here. I click here, perfect, and I click also left click here, perfect. And now to apply it, I click again on the arrow, green arrow. Okay, so like you see here, I have obtained my 3D rectangle with fillet. I click save. I can click right click on the face here and normal to in order to see it face to face. Okay, now let's do these cuts here. Like we see here, these cuts are 22 millimeter from the center, and they are distance 51 millimeter plus 43 millimeter. So I can draw here also a line from here 51 to here, then plus 43 millimeter. Then I will obtain the line here and draw also a midline from here to here 22 millimeter in order to have the center's location of the two holes of diameter 10 millimeter. Let's see how to do it. Okay, so 51 plus 43. I can click here, rotated, click, right click, normal to, then press on my keyboard Alt and left arrow in order or right arrow in order to rotate it. Then click on sketch here and sketch also here, left click in order to do the 2D sketch. Then click here on the line and click line again. We can do this line, center line, we can do it, it's for construction, or do it normal line here and draw the line from the center. How to, from the midpoint here, how to locate the midpoint here? The midpoint here, like you see it, it's on the point here. It's located on the point here, rectangular, small rectangular orange at the midpoint. I click on it and I draw the horizontal line. The horizontal line should be like this on these yellow dots. I click OK. I click right click and select. This is the midpoint line. This midpoint line, it's just for construction, so I can click left click on it and choose here for construction, because this line is not to do with extrude, it's just to locate the centers of the holes. So I just do here for construction and then I click on the arrow here. So like we said that the distance from here, the edge here and the center of these dots is 51 plus 43. So now I can do here smart dimension. I click here. I can click here 51 plus 43 and it will automatically calculate it on SolidWorks and give me the final distance. And click enter. It's 94 millimeter. Perfect. Now I should draw the midpoint line here of 22 millimeter in order to locate the center of these holes. Okay, I click here on yes, okay. Then I click on the line at midpoint line. Midpoint line, I choose the midpoint line here on the dot here. On the dot here, and I will choose the vertical. The vertical, it should be mentioned here in yellow in order to catch the vertical. I click OK, right click, select in order to select it. Now I should put the dimensions 22 millimeter. Like you see here, this is a midpoint line. So the midpoint of this line is on this X. It's 22 millimeter. I click smart dimensions and here I mentioned also 22 millimeter, and then I click OK. And then I click this is for construction, so I don't need to draw it. It's just for construction to locate the circles, center of the circles, and I click OK. Perfect. So now I have obtained the center of the circle is here and the center of the other circle is here. So I have here phi 10 two holes. So I have two holes phi 10. I click on the circle. I click on the center here and drag it, and click also on the center here and drag it. Right click, select. These holes are equal diameter of phi 10. So I can here mention relations. I click on the circle. Okay, then I control click on the other circle. Here we can add relations between these two circles, if cordial, tangent, concentric, equal, fixed. So here on my case, I have these two circles equal. So when I put equal, these two circles will become equal. When I change the dimensions of one, the other will change also its dimensions. So the phi equal 10. I click smart dimension here and click on the circle and mention the dimension here equal 10. So now I click on the green arrow. So it's 10 millimeter. Okay, now I click on extrude cut in order to cut it, because these are holes. And before, like you see here, it's fully defined. It's in black, fully defined, so it's perfect because I mentioned all the dimensions required, the distance and the diameter. So now I can do the holes or do the cut. I click here on feature, extrude cut, and here extrude cut is through all in order to cut it all. And then click on the left arrow. Perfect. So now we have obtained the cut. Let me save it. The two holes are obtained now. So now let me draw this part. This part also, here it's 48, 24, 25, 41, and width it's 11. And 41, 11. Okay, like we said here, right click on it because I want to draw the sketch on this face here in order to extrude it. So I left click on the sketch here or on this face here and right click on it, add normal to obtain it directly in front of me because I want to draw this 2D sketch here, then extrude it. So my 2D sketch that is here is of height 41 millimeter and 48. I can draw here, so sketch, in order to do this 2D sketch on this face, I click here, sketch, then I click here on the rectangle, on the corner, I click on the corner here, and I mention the corner of the rectangle here, like we said here, on the yellow, on the orange dot here, I click on it, then I drag it here. Or I can choose better a 3-point center or 3-point corner rectangle in order to have all the corners. I can click here, the first corner, the second corner is here, and the third corner is there. Right click, select in order to select it. So now I have the width is 48 millimeter correct, but I should change, update the height 41 millimeter. So I click here, smart dimension, and here I click on 41 millimeter, and then on the arrow, green arrow, then click on yes. And then extrude, the extrude should be 11 millimeter. Extrude of this, it should be 11 millimeter in order to do it as a 3D part. I rotate it by the wheel of the mouse, then click on here on feature, extrude, and extrude, it should be 11 millimeter. But now, like you see here, the direction of the extrude is from the other side. In order to switch this direction of the extrude, we just click here, left click on this black or green or gray arrow, left click on it in order to change the direction of the extrude. Left click on it. So now we have obtained the extrude perfectly. And then I click on the arrow, green arrow. Okay, save it. Now let's do the radius. Like we see here, we have radius 6. It's a fillet of radius 6. Fillet of radius 6 of a 3D part. So in order to do the fillet of a 3D part, we should enter here on feature and do the fillet like we see here. Features are for 3D. And fillet here, we choose a fillet of the edge because I want to do the fillet here on this edge and on this edge. And I will click on radius 6 millimeter and fillet items to fillet. It's here, radius 6, and here also radius 6, and then click on the arrow, green arrow, yes. Perfect, and now I save it. Okay, we can also, if we want, edit this feature. We can click on this last feature that we did, fillet, right click on it and edit feature. We see it's all correct, radius 6. Okay, now let's do this cut. This cut, it's in the center of diameter 13 millimeter and height here is 25 millimeter. So left click on it, right click on it here. Okay, in order to have the face. Now let's do sketch because I want to do the cut here. Let's draw the face here of the sketch. Sketch, then do left click on line in order to do this line. Okay, click here on the edge, wait it to see it as yellow, click another time. Then because we have the other line here, we should do the half circle. How to do the half circle? We return to the dot and drag it once again, and when we return it and drag it once again, we will obtain the half circle. Like we see here, it's on the horizontal one, we have the dots. We enter, click again, and the left click, then do the other line here to the edge, left click, and other line here to close it. Now we have right click select. Now we have this 2D sketch, but you see here, it's underdefined. It's in blue. It's a warning that this sketch lack of dimensions. It should be in black in order to SolidWorks mention else here fully defined. So now our objective is to insert dimensions. How to insert dimensions in order to fully define it? First of all, we have here that from the bottom here to the center of the circle, we have 25 millimeter. So we have smart dimension, left click on it, left click on this line, and left click on the center of the circle, click on it, left click, then type here 25 millimeter, and then enter. So I have now the perfect height. I lack also another dimension that the diameter of the circle is 30 millimeter. So the width here is 30 millimeter. I just insert here diameter 30 millimeter. Here they mentioned us the radius. So the radius should be 13 divided per 2. 13 divided per 2. This is the radius, 6.5. Like I will repeat it again. And we have here the diameter is 30 millimeter. Here SolidWorks is mentioning us to insert the radius. In order to insert the radius, we insert the diameter, then backslash here, divide per 2 in order to obtain the radius. And we have now the radius is 6.5, perfect. Okay, and now we have that the position of this center here of this circle, the distance from this center to this edge is 24 millimeter. It's 24 millimeter. I click here on the arrow. I click on smart dimension. From the center here, I click left click from this on the center of the circle. Then left click here on the edge here and do the dimension here. Insert the dimension and it's 24. Like we see here, it's 24 millimeter. Okay, perfect. So now, like we see here, it's fully defined. It's perfect because now we have inserted all the dimensions required, and now it's in black. It's fully defined. So now I can do the extrude cut here. Extrude cut, right click rotate to see the extrude cut, and I will extrude it through all of it. I do here feature, extrude cut, and I can do it here through all better, and left click on the arrow here. So now I have obtained this cut, better to save it here. Okay, now I have to draw this circle here and this hole here, and then finally do insert all the fillets and radius 2. Okay, the center of this line. First of all, we should draw this circle. We should see where the center of the circle is. It's 51 millimeter. Left click on this face, right click on it, then normal tool. Then click on Alt and right arrow of click on Alt on the keyboard, then press on Alt on the keyboard, then press left arrow or right arrow on the keyboard also to obtain it face to face here. Okay, so my objective now is to draw this circle here. Is to draw this circle here. Let me first of all see that this circle, the center of the circle is on the line. The center of the circle here is on the horizontal line. So here I left click on sketch, left click on sketch again, left click on the face here, left click on the circle here, left click on the circle in order to draw the circle. The center of the circle, we can put the center anywhere now, then we will change the distance later. Click here on the center, then drag it, then right click, select in order to select it. Okay, so I have radius 30 millimeter of this circle. Smart dimension here, radius 30 millimeter, so it's diameter of 60 millimeter. 30 times 2, it's 60 millimeter diameter. I type 60 on my keyboard and then click and type enter. So it's 60 millimeter. Okay, and now I have the inner circle here of diameter 38.10 millimeter, and in the same center diameter. I click also here on the circle here, and click also on the circle here, and choose the same circle, center of the circle that is here, and click on it and drag on it, and then right click, select, and then see on the picture here it's 38.10 millimeter, and click 38.10 millimeter is the diameter of the inner circle of the small circle. So I click smart dimension and I choose the inner circle here, the small circle. It's 30 point, like we see here, it's 38.10. 38.10 38.10 millimeter. So it's perfect. Now we should locate the center of these two circles, the distance of the center of these two circles between this line here. So the distance, like we see here, from this face to the center of this circle, it's 51 millimeter. I click left click on it, left click on the arrow, smart dimension here. I click on this edge here on this line, left click on it, and left click on the center here, and then left click again here, and click here, type 51 millimeter. Okay, perfect. So now we have obtained a fully defined sketch. We have obtained all the dimensions required in order to draw these two circles. So now I should trim the below the bottom part of this two circles because I don't need to do all extrude of all these circles. So my objective is to trim it, to cut these bottom lines. How to trim it? I can create here line from here, like you see here, orange dot, left click on it, and then click here, left click on the other extreme point on the orange, then click right click, select. Perfect. Now I choose trim. This is, we are working on the sketch, not on feature, on the sketch, because we are drawing a 2D sketch, not important to do a feature here. 2D sketch. Now trim, like you see here, we can cut here by trim. I choose left click here, trim, and then uh, keep pressing on the left click of the mouse and drag it. Drag it to the left, to the left, to the left. Okay, so now we have cut it. We should also cut this line here because we don't need to extrude out of it. We just need to extrude this the face between the small circle and the big circle. So we can trim also this line here and this line there. Right click, select, perfect. We have obtained now the circle that we should draw. So now I should do extrude of this circle to the other side. It means I should extrude it 48 millimeter. I should press here feature. So please be careful, don't do exit here. If we do exit, we can't do extrude 3D. Keep the 2D sketch and don't press exit, press feature and then press extrude boss. And when extrude boss here, we should change, like you see here, the direction of the extrude to the other side. We should press here the black arrow in order to change the direction. And we can press here 48 millimeter, enter, perfect. It's now on the other side. Or we can choose here up to next, no, through all, yes, you can choose it through all, it's the same. Or you can choose blind and type 48 millimeter, or choose through all. It will take it like 48 millimeter because through all, it's a SolidWorks mean by through all that through all the part, and the width of the part is 48 millimeter, so it will extrude it 48 millimeter. So it's perfect now. We can do okay here, correct, approve on the green arrow, left click. Okay, we have obtained it now. Now save it. Now our objective also is to cut this rectangular here. It's so easy to cut it. Like we see here, left click on it, right click on it, normal to, press Alt on the keyboard, then right arrow, then click on sketch because my objective is to draw a circle here and cut it. So a sketch on this face, then click on the circle, left click on the circle again, and before clicking, when I put the cursor of the mouse here on the circle here or on the circle here, I can obtain the center of the circle. So the center of the circle is there, like you see here. I click on it, then drag the mouse in order to get the same radius here, 19.05. Okay. So it's in blue. Let me do, it's in blue, it means it's underdefined. Let me do it fully defined. I click, left click on this circle and control left click on the other circle and make it equal. So now it's fully defined, it's in the black. So the purpose of drawing this sketch is to cut the inside part here in the inner of the circle. So now I can cut it. How can I cut it? Because I want to cut it in 3D mode, I keep this 2D sketch here, I enter here in the feature, and then I will click here on extrude cut. I click here on extrude cut, and I can mention here extrude cut through all. Enter. Perfect. So now I've obtained this cut here, as mentioned here in the drawing. Okay, I have two small things to do. I should do also this hole here, this cut here of 5 millimeter. It's in the center. It's 24 millimeter from there. Okay, and the last thing to do is to do the fillets radius 2. So here, fee, it's 5 millimeter and 20. Okay, feet 5 millimeter. So I can draw the sketch here on this face and then extrude cut to the above in order to cut it. Let's see how to do. Left click on it, right click on this face, normal to Alt, type Alt and press Alt and press right arrow. So now it's in front of me. I have this cut like we see here. So we should do a sketch here on this plane. I can draw this circle, for example, here in the random position. Then I will put the dimensions. The diameter of the circle is 5 millimeter. I press here smart dimension and click here on the circle here. I type here or press 5 millimeter. This is the diameter. Okay, I have here that it's 24 by 24, it's 48, so it's in the middle. In the middle, I can here also put the dimensions, smart dimensions from this edge to this edge. It's 24 millimeter. It's a 24 millimeter. It's perfect now because, like we see here, it's 24 millimeter, and all of it's 48, so it's in the center. Now I should do the distance. Distance is 51 millimeter from this point to this face, 51 millimeter. I click here smart dimension here. So I click here, left click on this edge and left click on it. So here, like we said, it's 51 millimeter. I type here also it's 51. Perfect. I click OK. So now it's fully defined. It's all in black. So now my objective is to cut it because it's a cut. It's a 3D cut. So what to do? I should do here feature, extrude cut, and I can, like we see here, blind or through all bows, doesn't matter, or I can do blind like this and drag it upon my request here. Okay, and then click on the left click on the arrow. So I cut it now. Okay, the last thing to do is to do the radius, the small fillets of radius 2. Let me save it here. Small fillets of radius 2. We enter in feature, fillet here. I choose the fillet, it's radius 2 as mentioned in the document, and the fillet of the edge here. Okay, and now I choose all the corner to fillet. The first corner is here. I click on this edge, on this line. Click also on this edge. Not on this. If I want to delete it, I right click, delete. Okay, just click on the line, on the orange line in order to catch the edge. 2 millimeter. Click here also, fillet 2 millimeter. Here also 2 millimeter. Here also 2 millimeter. Here also 2 millimeter. Okay. Perfect. Now we can click here also fillet 2 millimeter. Or it's better to keep it without fillet here. Right click, delete. Okay, then click yes. So our part is finished now. We have done this 3D model part according to our drawing here, and it has been successfully made from 2D to 3D, and we have followed all the dimensions here and do all the cuts here, here, here. Now we can choose to put the color. We save it. Here we can choose the color. For example, green. Green is good here. Let's keep it green. I hope you enjoyed watching this tutorial training for beginners part 2. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like and comment. Thank you for watching.